Ever feel like the world kept moving, and somehow you're the one standing still, like folks don't see you the way they used to? America loves young, so getting older can feel confusing, lonely, and kind of unfair, but it doesn't mean you're broken. I'm going to lay out a few hard truths about aging, not to scare you, but so you can stop blaming yourself and start finding some real peace in the years you've got left. The feeling of being forgotten. I'm going to say it plain. Getting old can make you feel like you're fading out, like you're still here, but folks look right through you. You sit in your porch chair, you stare at that silent phone screen, and you tell yourself, maybe they're just busy. Then an hour turns into a day turns into a week, and that quiet starts to feel personal. It stings, and I won't pretend it doesn't. You check the mailbox, and it's mostly bills. Not letters, not a hey, how you doing? Just paper that wants your money. There's Medicare paperwork, there's some ad you didn't ask for, and there's that Social Security check that shows up like clockwork, like it's the only thing in life that still remembers you. You stand there by the trash can, sorting it like it's a job, and you feel that little drop in your gut, because nobody is sending you love in an envelope. They're sending you reminders. Sometimes it hits hardest in the dumbest places, like a Walmart parking lot on a Tuesday afternoon. You sit in your car for a second, watching people load groceries, and you realize nobody is waiting on you at home. You're not late for anything. Nobody is texting. Where are you? And that freedom feels more like emptiness than peace. And you think, so this is it. I'm just extra. Then the holidays roll around and people act like it's all warm and sweet, but some of us know the truth. You look at the Thanksgiving table and there are empty seats, and it's not just chairs, it's whole lives missing. You can still cook the same food, you can still put out the plates, but you can't fake the sound of voices that aren't there. That's when the quiet gets loud, and it can make a grown man feel small. Now listen, I'm not here to blame your kids, your friends, or the whole world. People get busy, people move, people get tired, and life pulls them in 10 directions. But I am going to tell you this. Waiting around for folks to remember you is a losing game. If you sit there hoping the phone will ring, you might sit there until your legs go numb. And that's not a good way to live. Here's the part that might rub you wrong. But it's true. This feeling is not always about you. Sometimes it's just time, and distance, and habit, and people being careless without meaning to be cruel. So don't turn it into a story where you're unwanted, not unless someone tells you that to your face. Most times, nobody is thinking, forget him. They're thinking, I'll call tomorrow, and tomorrow keeps slipping. You don't have to like it, but you need to see it clear. So what do? You just swallow it and sit alone. No, sir. No, ma'am. You do something small and steady. You reach first, even when your pride hates it. You keep it simple. You don't send a long, sad message that scares people off. You just say, hey, I was thinking about you. Got a minute this week? That's it. Short and clean, like a knock on the door. You'd be surprised how many folks are glad you did. And don't aim for perfect, aim for regular. You don't need 10 friends. You need 1 or 2 real points on the map, something you can count on. That's why I like places with a schedule, like a church or a senior center bulletin board, where you can see what's going on this week. Bingo night, a pancake breakfast, a walk group, a food drive, something where you can show up and nobody looks at you strange for being there. You go enough times, and people start to know your face, and that alone can save you. You can also start right where you live, because the world is closer than you think. Walk down to your neighbor's driveway and say hello. Just a simple hello, like you used to do when you were younger. Ask about their dog, their yard, their truck, anything normal. Don't make it a big talk about loneliness. Keep it easy. Keep it human. A lot of folks are lonely too. They're just hiding it better. And here's another thing. Build a weekly routine like it's medicine, because in a way, it is. Pick one day you always go out, even if you don't feel like it, even if you just get coffee. Sit at a diner, let that waitress give you a coffee refill, and look around at real faces, not the TV, not the phone. You don't have to talk to everybody, but you need to be around living people. Your brain needs that. Your heart needs that, even if you act tough. Also, don't let money fear keep you trapped inside, but do be smart. If the gas prices on a sign make you wince, I get it. I feel that too. So you plan closer trips. You pick one nearby place, same time, same day, so it's not a big deal every week. You make your world smaller on purpose, but you don't make it empty. Small and steady beats big and rare. Last thing, and I mean this kindly, don't punish people with silence and then act shocked when nobody comes running. If you want people in your life, you've got to reach first, and you've got to do it more than once. Some weeks it will work, some weeks it won't, and that's life. But you keep going anyway, because the goal isn't to be popular. The goal is to not rot in that quiet house, staring at that silent phone screen, wondering what you did wrong. Retirement money doesn't stretch like you think. Let me be blunt. Stop telling yourself it'll work itself out, because the bills don't care about hope. You can be 25 or 75, that electric bill still shows up, and it still wants the full amount. I've watched good people lose sleep, not because they were lazy, but because the math got mean. And retirement has a way of making that math feel tighter every single month. You know the scene. You sit at the kitchen table with a stack of bills, and you try to keep your face calm. Then you walk out to the mailbox, and it's mostly junk mail, limited time offer, and act now with one important envelope sitting in there like a bad tooth. Some days it's a rent notice, some days it's a property tax reminder, and your stomach drops before you even open it. That's not drama. That's real life for a lot of folks. Social Security deposit day comes like clockwork, and for some people it feels like a breath. For others, it feels like a countdown. You see the money hit the account, and in your head, you already hear it getting spent. The electric bill takes a bite, the water bill takes a bite, and then the rest gets divided up like you're slicing a small pie too many ways. That's why people say, "I'm okay," but they don't sound okay. And listen, the big killer isn't always the daily stuff. It's the surprise hit. You go to the doctor, you pay the copay at the front desk, and you tell yourself it's no big deal. Then the Medicare paperwork shows up later, and you're staring at pages you don't even want to read. Then you swing by the pharmacy, and that little pharmacy receipt is longer than your arm, and it costs more than you thought it would. One bad health month can turn a fine budget into a mess. Then you try to live normal. You do a grocery run at Walmart or Costco, and you keep tossing things in the cart like you always did. But the total at the register hits you, and you feel that heat in your face. You walk out past the gas price sign on the street, and it's high again, so even driving feels like a choice you have to explain. That's when people start staying home, not because they want to, but because they're scared to spend. Here's the truth. Most folks won't say out loud. A lot of people don't fear death. They fear living too long and going broke. They fear being a burden. They fear asking their kids for help. They fear that look people give you when money gets tight. And I'm not judging that fear. I'm telling you to face it, because ignoring it won't protect you. Pretending costs more than planning. So let's talk plain steps. No shame. No fancy talk. You need simple buckets. 3 of them, like 3 coffee mugs on the counter. One bucket is for your basic life, food, lights, water, gas, the stuff that keeps the house running. One bucket is for health, because your body will send you bills, and you don't get to vote on that. And the last bucket is for something breaks, because something always breaks. The car, the water heater, the fridge. Life loves to pop you when you're relaxed. If you don't have that something breaks bucket, you end up using your rent money to fix your water heater. And that's how a bad month turns into a bad year. I've seen people get a car repair estimate, and it's big enough to make your hands shake, and they just put it on a card and hope. Hope is not a plan. It's a prayer. And sometimes it don't get answered. So even if you can only stash a little, stash it, because a little is better than nothing. Now you've got to cut the quiet leaks, the stuff that drains you without you noticing. I'm talking about little charges, little habits, little treats that add up, because they happen every week. If you don't know where your money goes, grab a small notebook and write it down for 1 week. Just 1 week. You don't have to be perfect, you just have to be honest, because the numbers don't lie, and they don't argue. And don't try to look fine for other people. That's a trap. If you want to eat out, pick the diner where you order the cheap special, and you leave full without feeling dumb. If you want coffee, make it at home most days, and save the diner coffee refill for the day you need to see a human face. Being steady beats being flashy. Every time, especially when your income is fixed. Nobody gives out trophies for best dressed while broke. Also, don't be too proud to ask for help in the right way. Not begging, not panicking, just getting straight. Call the utility company if you're behind. Ask about a plan. Ask early, not after the lights get shut off. Talk to the pharmacy about cheaper options, and don't feel dumb doing it. You paid into this system your whole life. You're not asking for a favor. You're trying to survive with some dignity. I'll end it like this. You can still steady the ship, even if the water is rough. Put the bills on the table, open the envelopes, face the numbers, and make your buckets. Life, health, and something breaks. Watch the leaks, write it down in that notebook, and stop trying to keep up with anybody. You don't need to be rich. You need to be okay. And okay is built one small choice at a time. Your body will slow down, and that's real. Listen, this is real. Your body will slow down, and some days it feels like it's not even your body anymore. You wake up, and the first thing you notice is how stiff you are, like somebody swapped out your joints in the night. You sit on the edge of the bed, you wait for the world to stop spinning, and you tell yourself, I'm fine, even when you're not. That little lie is how a lot of trouble starts. It's the small stuff that gets you first, not some big movie moment. You go to read a tiny label, you put on your old glasses, and you still squint like you're trying to crack a code. Then you're in a CVS or Walgreens aisle staring at pain meds, and you're thinking, which one is safe? Which one is going to mess me up? You grab one thing, then you put it back, because you don't trust your own choice anymore. That's a rough feeling, and people don't talk about it. And the tiredness, that one is sneaky. You used to carry groceries like it was nothing. Now you do a basic grocery trip, and lifting a case of water feels harder than it used to. You don't say it out loud, you just feel it in your shoulders and your back. Then you get home and you sit down for a minute, and that minute turns into an hour. That's not being lazy. That's your body asking for mercy. Here's the part I want you to take serious. The biggest danger is a bad fall. One fall can change your whole life, and I'm not trying to scare you. I'm trying to keep you out of trouble. It can happen in the driveway. It can happen on icy steps. It can happen because your foot caught a crack you didn't see. You go down hard, and after that, everything gets smaller. Your world gets smaller. Your freedom gets smaller. People don't plan to fall. They just fall. That's why you have to stop pretending your house is harmless. Walk through it like you're checking it for a trap, because sometimes it is. That loose rug in the hall, that cord in the hallway, that little clutter by the door, those are not no big deal. Those are how people end up in the ER. Put a nightlight in the bathroom, put one in the kitchen too, because waking up half asleep in the dark is how ankles get twisted. A small light can save you a whole lot of pain. And yeah, get the grab bar in the bathroom. I know it's not pretty. I know it makes you feel old. But you know what's uglier, falling in the shower and not being able to get up. Pride is expensive. Pride will cost you weeks in a bed. Pride will cost you a chunk of your life. A grab bar is cheap compared to that, and it gives you back some control. You deserve that. Now let's talk about the thing nobody wants to use, the cane or the walker. Folks will say, I'm not there yet. And then they wobble when they stand up, like a baby deer. Listen, using a cane doesn't mean you're done. It means you're smart enough to stay on your feet. It's not a surrender. It's a tool, like glasses, like a seatbelt. You don't have to love it. You just have to use what keeps you safe. Also check your shoes. I'm serious. Look at them right now. A pair of worn-out shoes with slick soles is a fall waiting to happen. You don't need fancy. You need steady. You need grip. You need something that holds you when the ground doesn't. People will spend money on a big TV, then they won't spend on shoes that keep them walking. That's backwards. And don't stop moving just because you're slower. You don't have to run. You don't have to join a gym full of loud music. You just have to move a little every day. Take a short walk around the block past neighbors' lawns. Wave if you see somebody. Breathe the air. Let your legs remember they still work. Some days it'll be short. Some days you'll turn back early. And that's fine. The point is, you showed up for your own body. Keep up with the basics too, even when it's annoying. You go to the doctor's office, you pay that copay at the front desk, and you act like it's no big deal. But it is part of staying alive. Keep that Medicare card in your wallet, keep your appointments, and ask the simple questions. If you don't understand something, say so. Don't nod just to get out of there. It's your body. You get to understand what's happening to it. And when you pick up meds, look at that pharmacy pickup bag stapled shut, and don't treat it like it's just another errand. Take it home, read it, make sure you know what it is, and how to take it. Don't guess. Guessing is how people get sick. If something feels off, call the pharmacy, call the doctor. Bother them if you have to. That's their job. You're not being a nuisance. You're being careful. I'll end it like this. Your body slowing down is not a moral failure. It's just time doing what time does. But you still have choices, and those choices keep you free. Make your home safer. Light up the dark spots. Get rid of the trip hazards, and don't let pride talk you out of a cane if you need one. Move a little, check your shoes, go to the doctor, and stop ignoring pain until it becomes a crisis, because by then it costs more, and it hurts more. Your kids grow up, and their life isn't yours. This one hurts in a quiet way, because it doesn't come with a fight. It comes with space. One day you look up, and you realize your kids are grown, and their life does not circle around you anymore. You can love them with your whole heart, and still feel left behind. That mix of love and hurt is real, and you don't have to pretend it isn't. You see it in the small things, like a missed FaceTime call that used to get answered. You stare at the screen a second, then you put the phone down like it's nothing. Then a short text pops up that says, "Busy, I'll call later," and you try to act tough about it. But later doesn't always show up, and that's the part that lands in your chest. You walk into the kitchen and you see the fridge covered in grandkids' photos, school pictures, little smiles frozen in time. It's sweet, and it's also a reminder that time moved on without asking you. Right next to that, there's a calendar on the kitchen wall with empty squares, and it's too quiet in there most days. You can't help but think, I raised them, and now I'm just waiting. The holidays can make it sharper because the room looks the same, but the people don't. You sit at a Thanksgiving table or a Christmas table, and the seats changed. Somebody new is sitting where your kid used to sit, or your kid isn't there at all. Maybe they're with the in-laws. Maybe they're working. Maybe they live too far now. You smile for the pictures, and then the quiet hits you when the dishes are done. And yeah, distance is real, especially when your kids live in another state. You stand on the porch and you talk with a neighbor in the driveway, and it comes out like a sigh. My boy's in Texas, or my girl moved up to Michigan. You say it like it's normal, because it is normal now. But normal still hurts sometimes. Visits are harder too, and it ain't just about time. It's about money. You pull up to a gas station and you see that sign with high prices, and you do the math in your head before you even start the car. A long drive to see family on a holiday starts to feel like a whole project, not just a visit. So you go less, and then you miss more, and it turns into this loop you didn't ask for. Now listen, I'm not here to trash your kids, and I'm not here to say they don't care. A lot of them are buried under work, bills, and their own kids, and they're tired in a way we didn't always understand at their age. They love you, but love doesn't always show up as phone calls and long talks. Sometimes love is just them surviving their week, and that's the truth. But here's the part I need you to hear. You cannot build your whole happiness on their attention. If you do, you'll be up and down all the time, depending on whether they text back. Social Security deposit day will come and go, the same. The world will keep turning, and you'll still be sitting there hoping they notice you. That's not a good way to spend the years you've got left. So stop testing them with silence. It doesn't work. Some folks do that thing where they don't call, just to see if the kids will call first, and then they get mad when nobody does. That's like sitting in a dark house and being mad the sun didn't come in. If you want contact, you have to make it easy, not complicated. Make a simple plan, something you can both stick to, like a Sunday phone call plan. You don't need a big talk every time. You just need something steady. 15 minutes. Same day, same time. Put it on your calendar and tell them. Sunday afternoon works for me. Can we do that most weeks? People can handle simple. People run from guilt. And keep your messages short. Short is kind. Don't send a long paragraph about how lonely you are. And don't toss little sharp comments like, "Must be nice to be busy." Just say what you mean, clean and honest. "I miss you. Can you call me this week?" If you need help, say it plain. "I have a doctor appointment. I wish someone could come with me. Can you help me set it up? Or can you come if you're able?" Clear is better than bitter. Also, build your own life so you're not staring at that empty calendar all week. After church, don't rush straight home. Stand in the church parking lot and talk to somebody for 5 minutes, even if it's awkward. Join one thing, one group, one regular spot, because your world can't be just your kids. Your kids should be part of your life, not the whole roof over it. I'll say it one more time. Your kids growing up is not betrayal. It's life. You can love them and still set a rule for yourself. I will not sit here and rot while I wait. Call first sometimes. Ask for a simple routine. Keep it short, and keep your own days full of small, steady things. That's how you stay close without begging, and that's how you keep your heart from breaking in slow motion. Loss is coming. Friends, spouses, empty chairs. I wish I could tell you loss is rare, but it isn't. It shows up more the older you get. It starts with one call, then another. Then you're going to a church service you never wanted to attend. You walk past the funeral home flowers, you sign your name, you shake hands, and you drive home with your jaw tight. Then you sit at your kitchen table, and that empty chair hits you harder than any sermon. The worst part is, it doesn't only hurt at the funeral. It hurts on a random Tuesday. You leave the TV on low for background noise because a quiet house can feel like it's pressing on your ears. You look over at that chair again, and you swear you can hear old footsteps that aren't there. You don't cry every time. Sometimes you just stare and feel tired all the way down to your bones. People will tell you, stay strong, like strength is a switch you can flip. Some days you can hold it together, and some days you can't. And that's not weakness. That's just grief doing what it does. Grief doesn't run on a schedule. It doesn't care if it's been 3 months or 3 years. It can hit you while you're brushing your teeth or while you're putting away dishes. And when it hits, it feels like your chest got heavier for no clear reason. You see it in the little things you keep, too. There's a sympathy card on the counter you meant to put away, but you can't. Not yet. There's a photo frame on the mantel, and you still look at it like you're checking in, like the picture can answer back. You open the closet, and one side is unused, shirt still hanging there, space that feels wrong. You close the door slow, because slamming it feels like saying goodbye again. Then you go out to shop because you still have to eat. You do a grocery run. You reach for 2 out of habit, 2 of this, 2 of that, like you're feeding more than one person. Halfway down the aisle, you catch yourself. And you stand there a second, holding the extra, feeling stupid and sad at the same time. You put it back, and you keep moving, because you have to. Nobody warns you about that kind of pain, the kind that shows up next to canned soup. Sometimes you sit in a diner booth alone, and it feels too big. The waitress comes by and asks if you want more coffee, and you nod, because it's easier than talking. You watch other tables, couples, families, friends laughing, and you feel like you're looking through a window at a life you used to have. You don't hate them. You're not jealous. You're just reminded. And reminders can feel like a bruise you keep bumping. The phone is its own kind of trouble after you lose somebody. There's a voicemail you can't bring yourself to delete because it's the last time you heard that voice say your name. There's a phone contact you still can't remove, and you don't even open it. You just know it's there. People think that's silly, but it isn't. It's a small thread you're not ready to cut. One day you might, but not today, and that's okay. And then there are the drives. You take a cemetery drive and you start seeing familiar names, folks you used to work with, folks you used to laugh with, folks who used to call you back. You park, you walk slow, you read dates, and it makes time feel sharp, like a cold knife. You don't have to stand there long to feel it. Life is not promised, and the list gets longer. You get back in the car and you sit for a minute, hands on the wheel, quiet. Holidays can be the hardest because they pretend to be cheerful. Thanksgiving or Christmas comes around, and it feels smaller, fewer plates, fewer voices, less noise in the kitchen. You can still do the food, you can still do the lights, but you can't fake the missing. You smile for the kids, you try, you really do, and then later you wash dishes in a quiet house. That's when some folks break down, not in front of everyone, but alone with a sponge and a sink. So what do you do with all this? Do you just sit and let the quiet eat you? No. You let yourself feel it, but you don't move in and live inside it. You build a small routine, not because it fixes grief, but because it keeps you from falling apart. You get up, you wash your face, you eat something, you take a short walk. You do one normal thing on purpose. Routine is not romance, it's survival. You also get out of the house on purpose, even when you don't want to. Grief will tell you to stay in, to cancel, to shut the blinds. And if you listen to it too long, it hardens you. So you go to the diner, you go to the store, you go sit at a church service, you go anywhere that puts you around other breathing people. You don't have to be the life of the party. You just have to show up, like a man who still belongs on this earth, and keep a few things, the right things. But don't turn your home into a museum. Pick the photo frame that matters most. Keep it where you can see it, and let the rest breathe in a box if you need to. If you keep every single item, every note, every piece of clothing, you'll never have room to live today. A memory can sit on a shelf. It does not have to sit on your chest. You can miss them and still keep walking. You might have a neighbor in the driveway one day, and they'll ask, "How you holding up?" And you'll want to say, "Fine," and move on. But sometimes it helps to tell the truth in one sentence. "It's been hard. I'm trying." And then you change the subject. That little bit of honesty can crack the loneliness open, just enough to let air in. Reach out before the silence hardens you, because once it hardens, it's hard to break. And you still deserve people in your life, even after loss. Purpose doesn't have to be big. You wake up early, the house is quiet, and the first thing you hear is that kitchen coffee maker clicking on. For a second it feels normal. Then it hits you. You got nowhere you have to be. No job clock, no boss, no crew waiting on you. That quiet can feel like peace, or it can feel like you don't matter. A lot of folks think retirement is all rest, but the truth is, too much empty time can mess with your head. You sit in that recliner, you flip the TV on, and it stays on way too long. One show turns into 3. Then the day is gone, and you didn't really live it. Then night comes, and you feel tired, but you don't feel proud. Listen, you don't need some big mission. You don't need a new you. You just need a reason to get up, put your feet on the floor, and do one small thing that says, "I'm still here." Purpose at our age is not about being busy. It's about staying alive on the inside. Without a simple routine, your mind can slide into a dark corner fast, and nobody sees it coming. So start simple. Look at the weekly calendar on the fridge and give it a job. Don't leave it blank like you're waiting for somebody else to fill it. Put one thing on it that happens every week, same day, same time. When you have one steady thing, the rest of the week doesn't feel so loose. I like a rule of 3, and it's plain as dirt. One person to check on, one job to do with your hands, and one place to show up each week. That's it. You don't need a big speech. You need a simple plan. If you do those 3 things, you'll feel more solid, even on a bad week. That one person can be anybody, a friend, a brother, a neighbor, even someone older than you. Walk past your neighbor's mailbox on your short walk, and if you see them out, say hello. If you don't see them, text somebody you trust and ask one simple thing. You doing okay today? You'd be surprised how much that helps you too. Not just them. That one job with your hands matters more than people think. Go into the garage, look at that toolbox, and pick one small fix, not a big project that wears you out. Tighten a loose screw, replace a light bulb, clean up one shelf, something you can finish. Finishing something gives your brain a little win, and you need those. And yeah, get outside if you can, even if it's just your own yard. A small backyard garden, or mowing a lawn, or pulling weeds, it all counts. You don't have to do it like you're 20. You do it slow. You take breaks. You drink water. The point is, you used your body for something real, and you can see the result when you're done. Now for that one place to show up, this is where most folks get stuck, because they think they have to have a reason. You don't, you just have to show up. Go to the senior center and read the bulletin board. Pick one thing that sounds decent, cards, a class, a walk group, whatever. Or go to church and look at the volunteer sign-up sheet. Not because you're trying to be a hero, but because being needed feels good. Volunteer work is not just for saints. It's for people who don't want to rot at home. A community food pantry is a good place to start because the jobs are simple. Stock cans, carry boxes, smile at people. You show up, you do your part, you go home, and you feel like you belong somewhere. That feeling is worth more than another hour on the couch. If you've got grandkids close by, that can be purpose too. But don't make it complicated. Maybe you do a grandkid pickup from school once a week, even if it's just one day. You don't have to buy them stuff. You just show up. You listen to their little stories. You make them feel safe. That kind of purpose is quiet, but it's strong. And if you don't have grandkids, don't think you're out of luck. Your local library has more going on than people realize. So walk in and look at the library event board. There are talks, clubs, free classes, and it costs you nothing but time. Sometimes you just need to be around other people who are doing normal life. Also, don't underestimate a simple meal out. Go to a diner where the waitress knows your usual and let that be part of your week. Order something simple, tip what you can, and sit there long enough to feel human. You don't have to tell your whole life story. Just being seen is something. Money is always sitting in the background. I know that. Social Security deposit day comes like clockwork, and some folks feel relief, some feel stress, but it's still a marker in the month. Use it as a reminder to plan your week, not just pay bills and worry. A steady routine doesn't have to cost much. It just has to be real. So here's what I'm telling you. Purpose doesn't have to be big. It's small, steady, and simple. One person, one job, one place. Put it on that fridge calendar and treat it like you treat your pills. You do it because it keeps you upright. You don't need to feel inspired. You just need to show up and keep showing up. The bigger the house, the more it wears you out. Let me tell you something most folks learn the hard way. A big house can turn into a heavy job when you get older. More rooms means more dust, more repairs, more bills, more stress, and nobody claps for you when you finish. You might have loved that house when the kids were running around, but now it can feel like you're babysitting a building. And that house won't love you back, so don't let it ruin you. You walk into the garage or the basement, and it's packed with old boxes you haven't opened in 10 years. You tell yourself, I'll get to it someday. But someday keeps moving. Then you try to find one simple thing, and you end up digging through junk, like you're on a treasure hunt. Half the time you find a junk drawer full of old keys, and you don't even know what they open anymore. The house also asks you to do things your body shouldn't be doing now, like climbing a ladder you shouldn't be on anymore, just to change a bulb, clean a gutter, or check a leaky roof line. You get up 2 steps and your brain goes, this is a bad idea, but pride goes, I've done this 100 times. That's how people end up hurt, and it happens fast. Then there are the stairs. And you know what I mean. A set of stairs that makes your knee talk back every single time, like it's got a mouth of its own. You go up slow, you hold the rail, and you pretend it's fine. But you and I both know one slip on those stairs can change everything, and the bills keep coming, even if the house is half empty. A property tax bill shows up like it owns the place, and you just stare at it for a second. Then you get a home insurance letter, and it's never good news. It's always rates changed or coverage update. The house cost money just to exist, and the older you get, the less fun that feels. Repairs show up at the worst time, too, like they got a calendar. The water heater goes out when it's cold, or the HVAC starts acting up right when you need it. You call a guy, he comes out, and that repair quote makes your stomach drop. You're standing there thinking, I used to fix this stuff myself, and now you're writing checks you don't want to write. Outside is work too, and it don't stop because you're tired. The lawnmower still needs pushing, and the snow shovel still needs lifting, and your back doesn't care how proud you are. You can pay someone, sure, if you can afford it, but that's another monthly bite. So the house keeps taking time, money, and strength. Here's the honest truth. A lot of people stay in a big house because of pride. They say it's home, but what they mean is, I don't want to admit I can't handle it. I get it. You raised a family there. You worked for it. You paid on it. You bled for it. But your past hard work doesn't mean you have to suffer in the present. So let's talk about what to do. Simple and real. First, make the place safer, because safety beats pride every day of the week. If you need a handrail installed on the stairs, do it, and do it now, not after you fall. If you need a grab bar in the bathroom, put it in, and don't act like it's a defeat. Next, take a real look at what you own, because clutter is not just messy, it's heavy. It's heavy on your back, heavy on your mind, heavy on your time. Don't try to clean the whole house. That's how you give up on day one. Pick one small spot, one shelf, one corner, one drawer, and finish that. When you're ready, start a donation box going to Goodwill and keep it somewhere you can reach. Every time you touch something and think, I don't even use this, put it in that box. Don't make it emotional every time, just make it practical. You're not throwing away your life. You're making room to live the life you have now. And yeah, you might need to think about moving smaller, and you don't have to be ashamed of that. Downsize is not a dirty word. It's a smart move for a lot of folks. I've watched a neighbor sell their house and move to a smaller place, and you know what? They looked lighter in the face. They had less to clean, less to fix, less to pay for, and more time to breathe. If you do move, keep it simple, and don't drag the whole past with you. You don't need 5 sets of dishes for a home with 1 or 2 people. You don't need 3 couches, 2 guest rooms, and a formal dining room nobody eats in. Moving boxes don't care about your memories. They just get heavier the more you stuff in them. Sometimes people wait until it's a crisis, and then it's chaos. A fall happens, a health problem hits, and suddenly family is renting a U-Haul truck in a panic, tossing your life into cardboard. That's no way to do it. It's stressful for you, and it's stressful for them. Plan early, when your head is clear and your hands still work. And yes, I'm going to say the words people hate. Nursing home, assisted living. You might see a brochure for it and shove it in a drawer like it's poison. But pretending it doesn't exist doesn't help you. It just steals time you could use to choose. If you ever need that kind of place, you want it to be your decision, not a rushed choice made in a hospital hallway. So here's the deal. The goal is safety, money, and peace, not keeping up appearances. If you stay, make the home safer and simpler, and cut the clutter down to what you truly use. If you move, move with a plan, and take only what supports your life now. Either way, don't let a big house turn your last good years into one long list of chores. Closing thoughts, what to do this week. All right, we've talked about some hard stuff, the kind of stuff people avoid because it makes the room feel quiet. Getting older can make you feel forgotten. Money can get tight fast, your body can slow down, your kids can drift, loss can empty out a house, and a big home can wear you down. None of that means you failed, it just means you're living in the real world, and the real world does not hand out easy years. Now it's night, you turn off the TV, and the house gets still. You stand at a window looking at a streetlight, and you feel that familiar heaviness in your chest. On the counter, there's a weekly pill organizer, and next to it, a small stack of mail with bills. Social Security deposit day comes when it comes. Medicare paperwork shows up when it shows up, and you do what you can. But listen, you can still make this week a little better, with a few small moves. First, reach out to one person, just one, not 10, not a whole phone book. Pick the one name that feels safest, and make the call before you talk yourself out of it. Don't write a speech. Don't say anything fancy. Just say, "Hey, I was thinking about you. Got a few minutes?" If they don't answer, leave it simple and try again another day. The point is, you moved first, and that matters. Second, make your home a little safer because you don't need one bad fall changing your whole life. Look at the hallway and be honest. If there's clutter in the way, move it. If there's a loose rug that slides, get rid of it or tape it down. Today, not later. You don't have to remodel the whole place. You just have to stop letting your own house set traps for you. Do one small fix, and then call it a win. Third, cut one money leak, just one, and you'll feel lighter. Go to the fridge and look at that Walmart or grocery run list, and keep it tight this week. Don't toss extra stuff in the cart because you're bored or lonely or trying to feel normal. When you pass that gas price sign and it makes you think twice about driving far, listen to that. Plan closer trips. Do what keeps you steady. Being steady is the whole game now. Fourth, get out of the house on purpose one time this week. I don't care if it's a diner coffee where you sit and watch the world, or a short walk around the block, past the same lawns you've seen for years. If you've got a church or a senior center schedule, pick one thing and show up, even if you stay quiet. Your brain needs faces. Your heart needs voices. And a closed house can start to feel like a box. You're not meant to sit in one room all week. And do this too, before you go to bed. Look at your wallet. Make sure your Medicare card is where it should be, and set yourself up for tomorrow. Put your keys in the same spot. Put your pills where you can see them, and give yourself one small plan for the morning. It doesn't have to be big. It just has to be real. Small plans keep people from sliding into long, dark days. So here's my question for you, and I want you to answer it in the comments like you mean it. What is the one thing you're going to do this week? One phone call, one safety fix, one money cut, or one trip out of the house? Which one are you choosing? Say it out loud, then do it, and come back next week and tell me if it helped.